Hello folks, welcome to API Test Automation with Rest Assured tutorial. I am Faisal Khatri. This video is in continuation to the previous video where we discussed what is a post request, how to write a post API test with a request body as a hard-coded string. In this video, we'll learn how to write a post API test with request body as JSON array or JSON object, how to create a post API request body using Java collections. Writing a post API request with request body as JSON array or JSON object. The request body can be provided either as a JSON array or a JSON object depending upon the requirement. We will be using Google JSON library to create a JSON object and then add it to the JSON array, forming an array of orders as required for the post add order API of the RESTful e-commerce application. The first step is to add the Google JSON dependency in the pom.xml. If you remember, we already added this dependency in the pom.xml during the project setup and configuration step. You can check out my earlier video of project setup and configuration for more details. The link to the video is provided in the description of this video. I have created a new test post request with JSON array class for this demo. The test create order method implements the test. The JSON object class from the Google JSON library is instantiated to create a new JSON object representing a single order. Using the add property method, key value pairs for the user ID, product name, total amount, product amount, etc. are added to define the order details. This will create a JSON object like this at runtime. The JSON array class from Google JSON library is instantiated to create a new JSON array representing an array of orders. Once the JSON object is fully constructed, it is added to the JSON array instance using the add method. This allows multiple order objects to be grouped in a single JSON array, which can then be sent as a request body in the API call. This statement of code will generate a JSON array, including the JSON object and runtime like this. It should be noted here that the body method parameter should be passed as order array.toString because rest assured uses JSON library by default for JSON serialization, and it does not know how to serialize the com.google.json.json object or JSON array objects. So it is recommended to convert your JSON array or object to a string using toString method and then pass it to the body method. The rest of the code remains the same for sending the post API request. There are two assertions performed after sending the post API request. One to check that 201 status code is written in the response, and second to check that the message field in the response body has the value orders added successfully exclamation. Let's quickly run this test and check the output. The post API request was sent successfully with the request body we created, and in the response, we can check that the values are updated correctly, and there is a message field that has the values order added successfully. If you want, you can also perform assertions to verify the values that are returned in the response. How to create a post API request body using Java collections. The list and map interfaces from the Java collections can also be used for generating a JSON request payload. This comes in handy when you don't want to use any third-party libraries. So in the same class, test post request with JSON array, I have another test create order with Java collections. So in this test, we will be using list and map interfaces from the Java collection for creating a request body. A map represents a JSON object where keys are the field names such as user ID, product name, and so on. And values are the actual data. So the value for user ID is 2, product ID is 2, product name is Xiaomi Pad 7, product amount 899.67, and so on. So this code map string object order 1 equal to new linked hash map order 1 dot put user ID to product ID to, and so on. Internally at runtime becomes a JSON object in this format, user ID to, product ID to, and so on, which is required for sending the order. The list map of string and object with a new array list, and then order list.add order 1. In this statement of code, a list represents a JSON array. We are sending multiple orders even if currently is just one. Once this two statement of code is executed, it will internally translate to an array of orders which is required for the request body in the post add order API. The format for sending the post API request remains the same. The dot body order list is the heart of the code. Here we did not create the JSON manually. Rest assured serializes Java collections into JSON automatically. In short, the request body of the order contains a JSON array consisting of multiple JSON objects, each representing the details used to create the order. The order details are mapped in the linked hash map that contains key value pairs of order details such as user ID, product name, and so on. The order details are then wrapped inside the JSON array using array list. And finally, it is supplied to the body method of rest assured. The request body is passed into the body method as a parameter. The post add order API accepts a JSON array for the order, and we are passing the order list finally into the body method as a parameter. Finally, after sending the request, we are performing two assertions like we did for the previous step as well. We are checking that the 201 status code is written in the response, and we are also verifying that the response body has a field called message that contains the value order added successfully. Let's run this code and check the output. We can see that the test passed successfully. The request body that was created using Java collection with linked hash map and list have been successfully added to the response. We can see the second order has been generated successfully with the same values that we supplied using Java collections. That's all for this video. Let me know your feedback in the comments. In the next video, we will learn how to create the request body for post API using a POJO. We will also learn how to use JSON file as request body in the post API test. Do like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching.